Hey everyone, good morning. Hope everyone is good today. It's going to be another glorious day scalping some futures. Hey Saif. Welcome everyone else. Feel free to say good morning in the chat as you're coming in. Hey Candlestick. Hey Exponential, what's going on? Good morning. News in 5. Oh snap. What do we got? Not even. Oh yeah. Our good buddy Powell is speaking in 5 minutes. That's fun. Yeah, so definitely sit on those hands. Put your mouse away. Do what you need to do, because yeah, when Powell takes the mic, things can get crazy. Nice, Greg. You eventually got a trade on the Nasdaq. Good deal, good deal. Yesterday was slim pickings, that's for sure. I didn't end up taking a trade yesterday. It was pretty rough price action. Saif says the fee for Apex performance account is a big scam. 140 to 200 per account is too much. Yeah, I mean, if you're paying the lifetime fee, it's not really too much compared to the leverage they're giving you, but they are making good money off of it at the same time, right? Because traders fail at that, right? So it's yeah, it's like going to the casino, you know, all these randos lose money. But if you know how to game the system, you can come out on top. Well, it's not really like casino, that's worse, but it's like something. They have a great business model that makes them money, and if you know how to work it, and if you're can become a profitable trader, it can pay off huge. So hey Johnny, good morning. Thomas, what's up? Matthew, good morning. All right, so probably draw some channels for the day, huh? Kind of interesting. If you do it this way, you have to have an early break of the channel, so I'm not really sure about this. But sometimes that happens. I think it fits well enough that we can keep it for now. We can likely get something similar on the Nasdaq. It already has a break, actually. Expecting a new high to form here on the Nas. One minute until news, folks. Make sure you're flat. Not news, but Powell speaking, which is almost worse than news. He coughs the wrong way, the market's gonna drop or rocket up. So yeah, just be patient here. Matthew, the trading yesterday was very slim pickings. Pretty slow, pretty rough. Not slow necessarily. The market was moving plenty good, but there's not a lot of clean setups. I didn't personally take anything. Johnny asked, do you ever take the second entry setups with multiple bar entries? Kind of like the one that happened 6 bars again or so. So, yeah, I do, Johnny. Like basically, if you have a really good context, let's say, you know, a second entry long here, first entry, second entry, and first bar is not good for whatever reason, but the second bar does look better, yeah, I'll take that. I wouldn't take this one in particular, but in general, yeah, you can take off. The context is really good, and if there's a bullish bar like right next to a bearish bar, especially if the bullish bar itself looks good. This bullish bar doesn't really look that great. If it looked better, that might be one you'd consider. Like if it had a tail that went down a little farther, maybe closed a little higher, it'd be a lot more inclined. But this one is not even touching the EMA or anything. Doesn't even have a tail. But yeah, in general, totally. That's for sure a good way to enter. Yeah, I think the main thing, Johnny, first of all, you want a really good context for a trade, right? If you're going to take a double bar entry, it has to be mostly based on context, like, okay, this is the perfect spot for the setup to occur. And then second, you want your second bar to really close near the actual entry. So like in this example, let's, like you said, let's eliminate this bar. Let's pretend it doesn't exist. So you have just this bearish bar and then this guy here. I'm going to erase it so we're not even looking at it. Don't look at that. Let's say you have this bearish bar and then this bullish bar. That's closing quite a ways above that. So you'd have to enter really high. Yeah, you could do a limit order, but I don't know. I would more prefer it to be closing right around the same level. But yeah, I mean, that's a possibility for sure. Happy Wednesday to you, Lost. Good morning. Chayak, hey, what's going on? Well, so far, Powell hasn't obviously said anything that's got the computers going crazy. Good morning, Archer. Yeah, we were just talking about that trade. Nice. Glad you got that one. Johnny's starting the day out risky. On an engulfing too. Okay. Well, the main thing is you did have the context on your side. This is a good area for a second entry long. And is continuing to hold. You have 2 legs back. Ready your key entry point. So you have all that going for you. It's not the worst thing in the world. And yeah, probably a solid trade. I personally wouldn't take it just because I like the bars to form clean. But that's more of a personality thing, not a matter of like whether something's a good setup or not. I have found that I really need to feel super confident in all the trades that I take in order to be successful. So if there's something that's making me not feel super confident, I'll just skip it and wait for the next one, because there's always a next one, right? If anyone has a link to Powell's speech right now, that would be awesome. I have no idea how long he's supposed to be speaking for. Yeah, Archer says that's why I took it on a double bar. Yep, context is there for sure. Well, while we're waiting for Senor Powell to do his thing, mark some of our levels here. We are right at yesterday's high of day. Definitely a spot where we could get some resistance. Let's figure out yesterday's close somewhere in here. There's the overnight low. Then I think we'd have to go quite a ways down for yesterday's low a day, so I don't think that's gonna... Hopefully that won't come into play today. But right at yesterday's high a day, which was a triple top yesterday, so this is for sure gonna be pretty key if we can get above this or not. So far rejecting off of it. 7 minutes till the open as well. Powell speaking. Everything is pointing to taking those hands, sitting on them. But before you sit on your hands, definitely use one finger to click the like button of the stream. That's important to do before sitting on those hands. Check out the Nas. A lot weaker than the S&P relatively. Not even close to yesterday's high a day. Closing prices. Are right in there. Lost push the like button without the use of hands. Man, I'm not even gonna... That's some skill. That's some skill. You were just destined for greatness, Lost. Right, overnight low right there. We got our levels on the Nasdaq. Gotta be with the nose.
Casting the
We do have some more Fed speak this afternoon as well. So Powell's the big one right now, but later on, John Williams is speaking, Barr speaking, Jefferson speaking. Make sure you tune into that. I don't think that there's any of the others are going to impact the market that much. You never know. It's at least good to be aware of. And if there's a surprise candle, you know why. All right. It looks like Powell is done. Looks like Powell is done from what I can tell. Didn't say anything monumental. Think we are good to go. So yeah, if the setup forms now, it should be good. I don't really like picking anything right into yesterday's high. Could consider a second entry long here if it pulls back enough and looks good. The Nasdaq is likely already played out with the move up and breaking a high. We're actually expecting move down here. The market is open. We'll see what today's session brings. Here we go. It's funny, I actually thought the market was already open and I saw the candles moving faster. I was like, what's going on? This is almost done speaking. Is Doug from Harvard really moving the market right now? But yeah, market's open, so there you go. And it looks like we're not going to get a setup on the S&P. It's just going to go up, make a new high. We're still in that channel, so this is still tradable if we get another second entry. And actually would be better, not, you know, if it happens above yesterday's high. But again, we're expecting the Nasdaq to correct here. That could bring down the S&P. And this thing isn't even close to yesterday's high of day. The Nasdaq super weak. Not a good sign. If you want a good rally, you need tech behind it. Tech is not strong. The rally will likely not be either. Well, at least this is a nice move up. I mean, this is pretty solid price action so far. This channel can hold and we can get out of past this resistance. And this thing was trouble yesterday. If we can hold above that, we have a good chance of having maybe even a trend day today. How would that be? Trend, lost, it can happen. Hey Theodore, good morning. Right, still moving up. And actually the Nasdaq all of a sudden coming alive, approaching yesterday's high day. That's a good sign. It's a good sign for us. See if we can get a second entry long on the ES. Right, we're getting a slight break of our channel here on the S&P, right as the Nasdaq is coming up against yesterday's high day, facing a little bit of resistance there. So we got to watch that. We don't want the Nasdaq to start dropping. That could take us out on the ES, but if it holds, if it continues higher, a second entry long here would be awesome. Pull back first entry, pull back second entry, the high of day holding. I like that trade a lot. So trade pending. Now Nasdaq's dropping down. This could go south, but we'll see. All right, well, looks like we are not going to be holding that high day. Sorry everyone. Trend day is not looking likely at this point, unless it's a bearish trend. We'll see if prices can get back above the EMA here, though. First leg is not a good sign. Meanwhile, on the Nasdaq, we had this move up, break new high. We were expecting a correction here, especially at yesterday's high. Our first entry on the S&P. This got to really get above the EMA and hold it here for me to even consider anything. Got to be convincing. Okay, this is good. We are back above the EMA. That's a good sign. Nasdaq's heading back up to the high a day, another good sign. So let's see if we can get an entry here. It's one of those setups you got to be pretty cautious about. You really need to see that EMA hold. Otherwise, it could trick us into taking a long and then get smacked down. That EMA is not holding very much, so that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Especially around this key level. Greg has a wider channel and it bounced off the bottom of it. Okay. Might have to look into that. Either way, we'd be expecting a high either as a break of the channel and a new extreme, or if you're bouncing off after a bounce, you still expect prices to move up. So either way, we'd be expecting a move up here, as long as you have a bullish channel, right? Good morning, Toad. Looks good. Toad says it looks good, but worried about the short-term channel to finish. Yeah, for sure. You could get easily 2 legs of bearish correction. Nasdaq has a second entry long, says Johnny. Totally does. Totally does. From the top, pull back first entry, pull back second entry, right off the EMA. Johnny's going to take it even though he doesn't feel good. Yeah, I totally get that. Like I said, I'm kind of on the opposite thing now. Like, I think there's definitely a space for, if you struggle with just like taking good setups because of your emotions, then that's definitely a good practice just to take anything. But for me, I actually need to feel good about it for me to take it. If I see a really good setup, I have no problem taking it. My emotions don't get in the way. So if there's something off about it, if I don't feel right about it, that's when I know to hang tight. And so I'd be hanging tight on this Nasdaq trade. Sorry, Johnny. Sorry. And the reason is, this channel already had a break and new high, right? So we're already expecting a move down. We're coming off of yesterday's high day, could not get above that level. 1 attempt, 2 attempt. Yeah, and then this short-term trend needed a new low. So there was several things going against it. So you're saying I should take emotional suppressants? Well, I'm not saying that. Good. Lost asks, my average is like 15 trades a month. Let's see, what do I do a month? Yeah, it's about 15 trades a month. Is more than enough for me. And if you have, you know, several funded accounts with Apex and you got them all linked up to a trade copier, you only need 2 trades a month, really. EMA struggling to hold here on the ES while the Nasdaq is dropping. So I'm not even going to take a higher low here or failed second entry short. I don't like how sideways this is. Don't like what the Nasdaq is doing. Gonna hold off. Yeah, exactly. Lost 1 textbook setup a day is more than enough. More than enough. And if you're not leveraged enough for it to be more than enough, well, take it slowly until you do have enough leverage. Like the mistake would be trying to take more trades because you need more money. Your account isn't big, or you aren't able to trade enough contracts, or maybe you don't have as many funded accounts as you want. This strategy, price action scalping like this, works best if you're only taking a few trades a day at the most. You know, if you're consistently taking more than 3 trades a day, you're probably taking lower quality setups. And of course, there's room for different styles, right? And some people are gonna be more aggressive. Cough, toad, cough. Taking those medium probability, but I'd recommend, you know, shooting for the higher probability stuff and taking less trades. At least that's what I have found personally to work. So, not financial advice, of course. Just sharing what I do. It's worked for me. All right, a little bit of a range forming here. Pretty tempting to take a trade in this area, right? You have a failed second entry short. You have this second entry long that has higher low confirmation. Just don't like how sideways this all is right here, but you are expecting the uptrend to get a new high, you know, because you have this move break. We expect a new high to be formed. So context is really good. I just don't like how the bars are forming. I don't like the weakness on the Nasdaq. So this is one of those moments where, like, I'm pausing. You could justify taking even like this trade right here, right? Makes sense. It's 2 high probability setups, 1 failed second entry short, second entry long with a higher low confirmation. Context is good, everything, but some of those factors just have me sitting out, and that's all right. Again, there's always going to be another setup. I want to see the one that's like, oh yeah, got to take that. And it looks like this one worked out. So if you ended up taking this, 1 tick above this bar, stop goes 1 tick below. It's already gone for 2 points. And that's probably the most that I'd scalp for on a day like today. So there you go. That one worked out. now we really have to pause longs because our uptrend has a break and a new high. So when that happens, you expect a correction, sometimes even a reversal. Definitely pause on taking longs and shorts. Obviously, you don't want to take a short right now, but pause on taking trades for a minute. Let something else develop. Hey, volatility. Oh, really? Apex is going back to the 71% sale? No way. That's funny. I don't know what their deal is with that. It's hilarious. Okay, for the rest of November. All right. November 28th to be exact. Oh, half price resets too. Cool. Well, we'll change the wording here on my banner. Thanks for the heads up. I should never assume that just because one sale's over, another one's not beginning with Apex. How they roll. All right, guys, it's going to get funky here for a minute. I am going to make sure that we know about current deal, so I will disappear. You're seeing the behind the scenes work here, guys. $71% off. Because 70% just isn't enough, you know what I mean? All right, take care, Lost. Have a good one. All right. Apologies for the interruption there. We should be good to go. 71% off is the sale. And meanwhile, we are waiting for a trade setup. Robin is asking, is there a wider channel? That's a great question, Robin. So you could remember, like, your first thought always has to be like, what channels are present as price is developing, right? So you wouldn't, if this is all you're seeing, hold on, let me. If this is all you're seeing, you definitely wouldn't draw a trend, you know, like this, right? So your first inclination always has to be to stick with the channels that are obvious. Now, I did elect to kind of do an early break on this channel. So the next step would be going right here, but even that has a break. So I would wait here because even on this channel where you're taking into consideration both these swings, you have a break and a new high. Now there could be a wider channel, but we really want the market to prove that to us. One mistake I see a lot of people making is widening the channels too soon. You don't want to assume that it's a wider channel just yet, although that does fit pretty well. If you keep widening the channel, you're always going to be expecting a new high, and then one of those times it's not going to happen. So if this continues higher from here, that's when I'll widen it a bit. But right now I'm gonna keep it as a break and a new high. Especially too because look at the Nasdaq, it's just struggling at yesterday's high day. If this gets going as well and continues higher, we could consider making a wider channel there, but for now I think you want to keep it tight. This could easily turn into a range day, and you don't want to try to take a setup expecting something wider when that's not the case. So yeah, wider channel pending. All right, I gotta catch up on the chat here. Johnny says, I'm glad you stream, even though your win rate is decent over trading. So I'm a good reminder. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. If I can be a help to anyone out there in that regard, awesome. That is mission accomplished. Greg says, the channel depends on how you align the two for swings low. Yep, for sure. That's exactly. Yeah, I think, Greg, for sure, I think that's a possibility. I just want to be sure of it, because the other thing, take a look, is that none of this has been filled up here. That's another sign that you may not have a wider pattern. I'm favoring the shortened channel for now. And if I'm proved wrong, great. Then we'll have a wider pattern and we can have a nice trend day. Archer, are you talking about this, the higher low confirming the failed second entry short right here? This higher low? To me, that is definitely, like I said earlier, this failed second entry short or higher low confirming the second entry long is definitely justifiable. Solid trade. If you're talking about that one, awesome. Glad you got that. This one is definitely riskier. You want to make sure you have enough room between where you enter and the high, and that is not a lot of room. So I would definitely avoid this setup. Glad it worked now, but that's not going to work every time. You could easily have a move just like one tick higher and then reverse. Risky frisky. Johnny says, what do you think about taking the higher low on Nasdaq? We already got a extreme. Yes. Let's take a look, Johnny. Let's see, when did this happen? 651. Yeah, I think that is, if the S&P already has a new high, you want to be careful. And to me, the trend on the Nasdaq wasn't clear, right? We were already coming off of the yesterday's high day, could not break above that level. Had the trend actually drawn narrower initially, So I was not necessarily, and then the EMA is not holding here. Big moves up and down between it. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice looking bar, right? The other thing is it's not really confirming much. You have the second entry here. That gets stopped out. So this is really just a higher low. I guess it's confirming a second entry. This swing. So I don't know. I personally would take it. You're better off waiting for this failed second entry short. Offers a little bit more confirmation. Pull back first entry, pull back second entry short, and then that fails. That would, if you're gonna take a trade there, that's the one I would personally wait for. Either way, we got some movement downwards. Just try to potty trade. That's the what the hardcore traders do. Set up shop in the bathroom so you never have to leave your chair. We do have a failed second entry long forming on the ES. Pretty solid setup to take, really. I just noticed it, so I'm not personally gonna take it, but I might have if I was paying attention. Uptrend's already played out with the break a new high. You're expecting a correction here, and then you have first entry long, second entry long that fails, catching all of those late bulls who think this trend is going to continue. That's a nice trade. Nice trade. I wish I would have noticed that. Anyone managed to get that trade? That's perfect reversal pattern. All right, well, big impulsive move down here. Yeah, Exponential got that failed second entry long. Nice. Baby love, good morning to you as well. Hope you have a great trading day. Joshua got it. Nice, Joshua. Good work. Johnny, I think that's very wise to eliminate all the setups except for second entries and higher lows. That's a really great idea. And then when you get consistent, if you're pulling money out every month, trading those setups, then you can start adding other stuff in. But hey, this is exactly, guys, what we're talking about, having a wider trend. This is why you don't widen your trends too early. Again, if we had decided like, oh man, it's going up, let's widen this like this, we'd be expecting a setup right here, right, to go long, and that's exactly all those traders got trapped. So until it's proven, stick to the shortened channels. Well, I'm a little bit jealous that I didn't get in on that move, but of course, can't let that lead to FOMO. Not going to catch everything. And now our gap is filled. A gap is filled on the ES, and looks like we might even continue lower here. Next area to this spot would be the overnight low. And I definitely, this is a nice looking trend down. Can look for a second entry long. Oh, sorry, second entry short. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Not looking for longs. And if you took that trade, you have a nice looking runner right now. Or actually, that probably got stopped out. Yeah, runner likely got stopped, but either way, that was a great trade. Okay, on to the next, because I don't want to dwell there and start feeling like I missed out, which I did, but that's okay. Could get a second entry short here if we can get back to the EMA. Can't beat that second entry short, Matthew. You and me both, buddy. Don't look behind. This is not where you're going. That's right, Greg. Thank you. Yep. Okay, there we got our first entry to the short side. Boom, first entry right there. Need one more push up and then a nice bearish bar at the EMA, and we can take that. This correction is looking pretty straight up and down though. We do want to see two solid legs. Okay, this is a pretty pivotal moment here. Will the EMA hold as resistance? Need to see some rejection here. Nasdaq as well is right at that moment. You have a close above on the Nas, no bueno. Yes, looks like it's going to close above the EMA as well. Hi, Veer Chachmama. Veer Chachmama? Hope I'm saying that right. No, and you can see all the info in the description here. I am trading the 2000. I'm trading tick charts. On the S&P futures, I'm trading a 2000 tick chart. On the Nasdaq, I'm trading a 1500 tick chart. But it's very similar to a 1 minute time frame, as far as how many bars are being printed. So crazy, we had a bounce right off of yesterday's close, right as that gap is filled. Prices are like, okay, fill the gap, we can move on. That may just have been a stop run. Then go make another high. We'll see. But not looking for that second entry short anymore, unfortunately. Not a filled second entry short. No, I'm not looking to get long. I think this downtrend still could retest. I'd be interested in probably a filled second entry long. Lower high will not be enough for me just because of how strong this move up was. Well, maybe, I don't know. This is coming down quite well. We'll see. So either a lower high or a failed second entry long. So we already have our second entry short. If you are looking for the lower high, this could be it right here. You're going to want to see this reverse right away. Already above the EMA on the NAS. Looks like this correction channel might need a new high. That's when I definitely feel the best about taking a long. If we get this move up, break new high, that little uptrend will be played out, and then a move down below the EMA. Hey, Valieser. Good afternoon to you as well. Kind of wish it was afternoon. It is 7 o'clock in the morning, my time. Ooh, nice lower high on the Nasdaq. Actually, that'd be a second entry short. We never got that. Yeah, we've only had a first entry so far. But that'd be a risky trade to take. France, nice. Matthew accidentally got an ES, so here we go. Oh, you can always get out, Matthew. Don't hold it just because you're in it. I try to do that as well. If I accidentally get in a trade, if it's not a trade I'd normally take, I try to get out. Now, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I just hold it and hope for the best. But the best thing to do would be to get out of there. Second entry short working so far on the Nasdaq. Just couldn't bring myself to take that with how strong that correction is. This could easily just have one more push up before it eventually does make a new low. Could get that failed second entry long on the ES here. Archer says it's 10:13 in America. Hating on us West Coasters. Matthew says would have hit my target but gotta remember still made the right call. For sure, Matthew. Like imagine how you would have felt if that would have reversed and you got a big loss for no reason, you know, just for accidentally entering a trade. That's how I look at it. Like try to feel the emotions you would have felt if it would have gone against you. Saif says once I'm in a trade I need to see it through, get too scared of reversing. Yeah, absolutely. If you are planning a trade and you take a setup intentionally, it's best just to let it play out. Put your stop where it needs to be, put your target where it needs to be, let it play out, see what happens. Yeah, Greg, for sure. Market open 6:30 over here. Fun times. Okay, we still have an opportunity to get short. This move down as a break, we were expecting it to make a new low, and we have not made that new low yet. So if we get a nice setup here to take a short, we're gonna jump on that. Still thinking short. At this point, we'd probably need a second entry short. All right, Johnny. Go for it. Confess away. Whatever you're about to say, we all understand. 5 trades today, 4 win, 1 loss, but you feel dirty. Yep. Greg, this is not a safe place. We've all been there. And you know what? Appreciate you saying that out loud, Johnny. It's always been helpful for me to verbalize those things. And even just saying it out loud is like, I can kind of show myself how dumb I am, if that makes sense. But yeah, we've all been there. We've all been there. And one of the things for me that prompts me to not do that is just that feeling. Like, I don't want to feel that way. I'm going to wait on the good stuff. Johnny says, so you would never take a second entry short like that on Nasdaq when the correction's that strong. I mean, there's no nevers, there's no absolutes in trading, right? But in this particular situation, I didn't like that second entry short because of how strong this correction was. I would have liked a lower high. If the lower high formed here, I would have been all over that for sure. I would have taken that. But you have this big move up above the EMA, and you know, 3 bars kind of stacked next to each other. It's a little bit risky. A little bit risky. You could easily see, and I have seen many times, this kind of thing tick 1 tick lower, then get know, bar that ticks you out right here, and then maybe on the next one, that's when the market goes down. You just have to try to visualize like what's likely to happen. This is a very likely pattern. This move up gets a break, it's barely a new high, and then it goes down. Yeah, exactly. The prices breached through the EMA, didn't even pause, so that's telling you something. I mean, it ended up working out, right? But the next time you take it, it likely won't. Back on the ES, the second entry short didn't form well. We had a bullish bar here. If that was a bearish bar, I would have taken that. If your bar formed well, yeah, if your bar looked different, great, great. Take that trade for sure. I hope that doesn't mean my chart is not updating. We're going to reset, reload the data, cross our fingers for the best. Okay, good. My bars are the same. Whew. Whew. But yeah, if your bars look different, if you had a nice bearish bar there, that's a high probability trade. Still expecting a new low. And then pull back first entry, pull back second entry. That's money in the bank right at the EMA too. Greg, I would say that is the one thing that I personally really struggle with. After picking a good trade, ending up red, I want to make that back so bad. And often I do, but I don't feel good about it. So I'm really personally trying to practice just like eating a loss, you know? If I get one loss in the day, that's it. I'm just going to eat that. I'm not even going to try to do anything else. It's hard. It's hard. You want to make it back. All right, so the S&P and the Nasdaq both reached a new low of this downtrend, so now we are expecting a correction or reversal. Market loves to move in twos. There are two legs. Now we're expecting a move up. Same deal on the Nas. Move down, break, new low. Now we're expecting a move up. Not saying how big that move up is going to be. It could be very small and we could continue heading back down, but this is when you pause taking shorts because market is in correction mode. Okay, so watching the bullish correction closely here. I see how it forms. Nasdaq is like a couple ticks away from the overnight low. Maybe it goes down there first. See right there. Super close to that level. ES is still miles away from its overnight low. Possible correction for something like this. Just trying to visualize where that might be. But wow, look at all these dojis right in a row. This could start getting ugly here, folks. We could start just chopping around at this level, form into a range. The doji dance. Johnny is saying, hey, do you know anything about the 30% rule? My biggest day before day in his current funded account is 300 and now he's at 650. No, Johnny, that rule is in place. And what he's asking about, for those who don't know, if you have a funded account with Apex, they do have a 30% rule, meaning that your largest day can't be more than 30% of, like, one day can't be more than 30% of your total profit, something like that. Not sure exactly the rule, but here's what I do know for sure, is that rule, a lot, much like their other rules, are in place for those who are trying to game the system, right? Pardon me. They're for people who are just randomly gambling to get a funded account, and once they get the funded account, randomly gambling again, trading huge size, just trying to get like a big win and get a payout. So if you are trading a system, you don't have to worry about any of that. Even if you have an oversized win, if you make a couple $1,000s in a trade, you're fine, as long as it's part of your system, right? Like, as long as you're not just randomly gambling. So if you're trading your system, you are good to go. They might reach out to you, then you just have to show them, like, yeah, here's my setup, and this is one I take all the time, and you're gonna be fine. So yeah, that's only, again, like most of the rules, are only to worry about if you're trying to game the system, trying to gamble, whatnot. Yeah, but again, Saif, like I just mentioned, that only applies if you're trying to gamble. They just want consistent traders. That's the main thing. They want traders who have a system, have an edge, and follow it. And if you know, obviously, you know, they're traders too. Like, they know there's big days, right? You're gonna have big days. That happens. Yep. Shayak yesterday. We were at yesterday's close, as I have marked here. That's that line. Hey, Archer. You have not missed much. Not missed much. Another great context for a short here. Had this move down, break, looking for a new low. Oh man, if this bar was red, that would have been money. But unfortunately, it's a green bar, and we reached the new low anyway. So, great context. There's been a couple of those. Saif, that might be the case. I would encourage anyone, if you have a funded account with Apex, you should not be withdrawing money right away, even if you reach the threshold. You really want to build up that buffer, and that's going to help you in the long run. If you're trying to do this, you're in it for the long haul and not just want a quick payout, I'd recommend building up a buffer beyond what they require for payout. Unless the 300k, and this is all preferences, right? And what you're comfortable with sizing wise, and what your win rate and all that. But personally, the 300k account, I think that's just about right. If you can get up, their withdrawal threshold is 7,500. If you can get above that, that's when I personally feel like withdrawing a little bit's okay. But obviously, the bigger the buffer you have, the more at ease you can trade, more losses you can take without feeling the pressure. That's something to think about, rather than trying to just withdraw profits right away. If you're trying to trade for a long time, what's the rush, you know? Build your account up. Looks to be a little range forming here. Oh, hold on. Is my screen black? Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties. Stand by. Stand by. Weird. I have nothing. There we go. Thomas is asking, would it be better to withdraw small sizes at a time instead of one big payout regarding taxes or other account management stuff? I'm not a financial advisor, not a tax specialist, etc., etc. This is not financial advice. So take whatever I say with a grain of salt. Personally, I can tell you what I personally think is best is withdrawing a little bit at a time. Like especially if you have, you know, let's say 20 accounts, which is what they allow you to have. Think about if you withdraw just $500 from each account, that's $10,000 in one withdrawal. And then each account is you can build a bigger buffer because you're not withdrawing a bunch all at once. That's personally what I like to do, kind of take smaller withdrawals across multiple accounts at the same time. But as far as taxes, I don't think that matters. Whatever money you withdraw is money you earn, whether or not you do it in a big withdrawal or like small ones. It's all the same total. Yeah, exactly. So if they look, as far as tax goes, they're just looking at the end of the year. So, as far as the S&P goes here, we're still waiting for a bounce. Again, we had the move down with a break and a new low, so we would expect a correction here. If we get rejected at the EMA one more time, that's when I would start looking for a wider trend. But even this wider trend already has a break of it. Doesn't look good, so yeah. Another instance of waiting until you draw the wider trend or you really want it to be confirmed. It could have like a spike in the channel, but still, we need to see prices get rejected at the EMA again to really confirm that. All right, on the Nasdaq, also have a little mini range forming down here. Do have another rejection at the EMA, so we should start at least considering possibility of a larger channel or a spike in a channel, really, because that larger channel doesn't fit well at all. Maybe you have that. I'm not really sure. Nothing looks super good. You know, there's no channel that's like, oh yeah, that fits really well. Like, that's probably your best bet, and it has so much space at the bottom, really ugly. See what happens if we connect the bottoms. Yeah, it's just ugly no matter what way you draw it. So I'm still gonna hold off on drawing a wider channel. think we can still get a bounce here. Oh, you know what? Let's take a look at the higher time frame, 10,000 tick chart. That could help us. Yeah, you know what? Just making one big channel looks pretty good. But this could also be a narrow channel that already has a break and new low. So yeah, I think we're just gonna have to wait to see what prices will do, because even if we have a wider channel, it's not like we're gonna take a short right here anyway. This is pretty dang congested range like behavior. You don't want to take a trade in that. See if there's anything obvious on the Nasdaq. I think we are likely in the same situation here. This looks ugly. We're gonna hold off on that. Nasdaq bouncing off the overnight low would make a lot of sense for that to be the bottom of the range, and yesterday's high day to be the top of the range. And the close is the midline. That's pretty crazy. Look how that's working out. That's like nearly to the tick there. That's wild. I've never seen that. Yes, in a little different situation. Not as easily identifiable for a large range. There we go. Possible move up. Here we go now. Fat man scoop on the mic. Mix in the mix on the wheels of steel. This is what I was fucking born to do. Let's go. Alright, finally we have a little bit of movement. Hopefully this can actually stay above this mini range and develop into something. Thomas says there's something pretty peaceful about trading when you think about it. You know, there really is. I really agree with that. If you can get past all the FOMO and just the need to be in a trade at all times really can be quite peaceful. You know what you're looking for. You're just waiting for setups to happen on the chart. It's a puzzle every day, like trying to figure out, okay, what structure makes sense if I move this around. Like, it's fun. It can really be fun and relaxing. Doesn't have to be crazy. If trading is crazy for you, go size down or something. Nice, Archer. Good trade. Playing that little mini range, taking the failed breakout. I like it, except for this is just one move up. If this had a little break and new high somewhere in here, I'd feel a lot better about it. If it looks like that and then you have that bar, take it every day. But I don't like how this is just one move up. Could continue higher. Archer likes it because he didn't lose. Although, winners never quit, quitters never win. Chess, what's up? It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Chess is still in a trade from 2 months ago. Picked the absolute top of the market, still riding it. 3-0 today. Nice, Archer. All right, well, range is winning out here, folks. Meanwhile, the Nasdaq looks like it is possibly going to break out of this range. Could it be? Could it really be? Yeah, Matthew, exactly. We were just talking about that a bit ago. Nasdaq just looks like one big range for the day. The Nasdaq right at the small range resistance. This could be a second entry short. I'm not going to take it. I really kind of moved away from trading ranges for the time being, but you got your first entry. Bar wasn't great, but you could get your second entry up here somewhere, kind of on a failed breakout. That'd be awesome. Still could happen. Right on, Shaq. Congrats. Congrats on the win. Always a great feeling to be done for the day. Yes, this is a pretty decent second entry short on the Nasdaq, except that really haven't gotten to the range high with the body of a candle. I want to see the body of the candle up there. All right, let's see if this range low holds. Someone's rocking the hearts in the chat right now. Appreciate it, y'all. Appreciate the love. And party, we're partying in the chat. We're throwing hearts. Like, glad you guys are feeling it. Someone's having a good morning. That's a good indication of how everyone's doing trading wise, like how many emojis are being thrown out in the chat. Boom. 32 ounces of water. Done. That's how you start the day off right there, folks. I misspelled beer. Classic Archer. Love it. 32 ounces of beer to start the day. I mean, that is a way to start the day. I don't know if it's the way. It is a way though. All right, maybe moving down below the range here. Technically, it is water. That's a good point, Archer. Shoot. It's just fermented wheat water, you know? A good point. Okay. Well, maybe that's how I'll start my morning off tomorrow. 32 ounces. No, never mind. Never mind. All right, maybe the ES is headed down for the low of the day, or sorry, the overnight low. And we might be forced against our will into making a larger channel. Fermented wheat water does sound very healthy, doesn't it? You guys tried the new fermented wheat water? It's got amazing antioxidants. Big bullish bar on the Nasdaq right at the range low. I don't think the Nasdaq's going to let the ES drop here. I think it's going to do it. Right at support for this range day. Now this is complete. This has nothing to do with like a solid prediction, but I just feel like we're going up here. Totally feeling based. I mean, I guess not totally feeling, right? You can look and say, hey, this is pretty solidly a range day. And we had this big move down. This could have gained momentum, and instead we're just chopping around. So this to me does not look like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a massive move down and keep going. This looks like, hey, we're likely gonna come back and test some of these levels. Hey, Pepe. Now the ES, you have more of a case for continued bearish move. No solid support around this level. We're just kind of randomly at the midline between the high and the low. So it could go either way here on this chart. Both look pretty plausible. Seems to me like we'd want to visit this overnight low though. We made it this far. This channel's growing on me a little bit, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would never lie like that. I don't know what's going on with all the hearts, Robin. Someone's feeling it. Someone's feeling it. I'm not gonna argue though. You want to throw hearts? Hey, look, we don't have much going on in the market, right? So, what better way to spend your time than spreading a little positivity? You know, throwing some hearts. But yeah, it is quite quite surprising. Someone's getting after it. Added a few. Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate that. Trying to keep me past 11 a.m. Yeah, there you go. And another bear or bullish bar right off of the support on the Nasdaq. That's becoming quite tempting for a failed breakout trade. Even have like a first entry, second entry long. Not gonna take it, but dude, if that's your style of trade, that would have my attention. All right, folks. Well, market's moving slow. Today's one of those days, I think. You're going to have to wait till something develops. Kind of between a few different hypotheses, if you will, on the market. Nasdaq looks like it's going up from this range support. Yes, looks like it could keep going down to the overnight low. Just have to wait and see. So, yeah, stay patient out there. Thanks for the great stream today. Appreciate y'all. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Later, everyone.